#1, and we could all take a breath, take a moment as we experience a quick pause.
I think they're pausing the game so they can tip and they can use the voice lines, and then we can start the game. It did happen pretty much every single last game that we did cast, but to elaborate slightly more on some of these lineups, you have Templar Assassin. This is not an active hero by any means at the start of the game. We see pretty similar things that has happened with Carry Tiny, where she's farming her Treads, her Desolator, Dragonlance. This is the timing where you want to get it pre-15 minutes, if possible, potentially, so you can threaten that Tormentor, you can turn that into Roche. They have more than enough tower damage. Something that Ember Spirit doesn't have is tower damage. This is where Medusa with Meteor Hammer, Deso from Templar Assassin, and also Jakiro is going to come in. So once they get a good team fight, or if they park their heroes in front of the tower, the way Tidebound's damage is explosive to one extent, coming out from Tiny, coming out from Sanking, but other than that, two supports didn't really deal as much. It's a bit on the slower side. What is this set on Tiny? What is this? Some
like
turtle rock?
Turtle.
How do you know it's not a tortoise? Yeah, tortoise.
I think it might be a box turtle. I have no idea. I'm not a turtle specialist. But it still does just go, Tiny!
Why is it also pronounced tortoise?
Tortoise?
Yeah, wait, I thought it was French. I thought it was like tortoise.
Like coup de grace?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, well, you know, I guess it depends on your turtle knowledge. I don't really know any.
I don't know much about turtles other than straws that I have to drink from paper straws. Thanks, turtles.
I also know about the East Atlantic Current thanks to a turtle.
I really hate those. It's those paper straws. They dissolve in the drink.
Yeah, but it's good.
We need something new, some new technology. Maybe bamboo is a good.
Well, where I'm at, we went back
we're definitely
to
on that.
straws.
But yeah, because that one turtle got stuck
with the straw.
Yeah, in the straw in his nose. Like, yeah, we're changing everything.
I care about the turtles.
I do as well.
I'm here for turtle love, and I think the turtles deserve better. But yeah, the turtle that I know brings me through the East Atlantic Current. You have to get your exit buddy. Don't know if you remember Finding Nemo. Great movie.
Good movie. Did I find him in the end?
Yeah, they did.
They did. Good. Whew, man, I thought that was going to be like some sad ending or horror movie.
No, it's Pixar. What are you talking about?
I don't know much about turtles, though. I know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that's about it.
Yeah, turtles in a half shell. Who would you consider yourself to be? Are you like a Leonardo, Michelangelo?
I'm the blue guy. Yeah. I'm Leonardo.
Okay, that's fair.
Very good with the sword.
Are there any TMNT comic books that you're getting?
I was thinking they're pretty much on the expensive side, but let's not get into that right now. We're going to save that for the podcast. And Tidebound, their draft, I really like the fact that they picked Ember Spirit and also love the Centaur band, because I'm a big fan of Mage Slayer from the mid lane right now, where it does allow you to reduce some of that damage, and you see Sanking, you see Tiny, it's all about that magical damage. Same goes with the two supports, and if you get a pipe carrier from the offlane, it makes it very, very difficult for you to play the game, gives you that tempo, and I mean, even without it, Medusa's not going to be buying into those items. She doesn't build into pipe, you don't benefit anything from the item, but yeah, overall, I feel like the tempo from PARIVISION is going to be very, very good this game, and it's, to me, it's pretty much can Tidebound sustain it. They also have Sanking from the offlane, which is not the strongest laner. They're putting a lot of pressure. Morphling down to pretty much no HP. Did eat the Tango, but Y also down to half.
Yeah, they got them both in the same spot. It was Y just kind of walking where he had just saw Shiro get harassed in that that spot in the river. But we've talked about PARIVISION and their speed and their pace, right? They played that series against Falcons. So you take a look at this Sentry Ward down there. And they played that game against Falcons, or that series against Falcons, that ended up being pretty fast. They outpaced Falcons. Those games were done 25 minutes each. And Falcons really didn't have any answers to how quickly PARIVISION was playing. And this
he does have one more dagger. Let's see if White can sidestep it. He cannot. Down the river, who's faster? And we'll get it.
Class.
Almost level 2. which also leaves DM alone, so he's going to be getting some of that solo XP. This is also Medusa we're talking about against Morphling, so it's not a lot of pressure. This Medusa will definitely free farm in this lane. Relatively easy lane for him. Mid matchup as well. Tiny against Ember Spirit. I don't know if you have enough damage to kill him. And so far we've seen no one dominating the matchups. And also Sanking. How many times did we say it? Every single time I see this hero, there's always a couple of hate words coming out from me.
I've heard this hero's lane stinks.
Yeah, it's really bad. This time around, they didn't plant any sentries in the outer ring. So right now, Planet is going to be on stacking duty. As you can see immediately, Sanking is keeping the distance. So 2 camps are stacked. It's only 1, actually. So didn't stack the other one.
Yeah, only got that 1 camp. Just trying to know what's going to happen, right? Sand King's going to lose the lane. He'll back up into that area of the jungle and hope to get as much farm as he can and then get into that Blink Dagger at a decent timing.
Question is, which lane do you want to win? You're playing against PARIVISION, one of the stronger teams, one of the teams that is not afraid to go for the high ground relatively early on. They are not going to be waiting for that like second, third Roche. Planet, a lot of slow. Bach, try to help him out. They do have Sentry on their side. Ducalis is bringing Sentry and Dust on the Courier. Exactly what you need when you're playing against Sanking. Mid lane is pretty even, but other lanes are going really well for PARIVISION.
And you just look at the CS difference, and it is pretty big already. Nothing to say on this Tourtois. Just tossing no one into the air, and I mean, not really much of a difference going on until he finally throws that avalanche, but the water rune is going to be sipped on, and it'll be about even. I mean, nothing to say he's doing all right up against this Ember, but it's the side lanes that are really looking like they are struggling for the side of Tidebound.
Usually you will see Phoenix put quite a lot of pressure, even from position 5, but this lane is really slow. You don't really have any kind of a stun in the lane, which makes it very difficult. You don't have any slow coming out from your position 1, so Phoenix needs to land those Fire Spirits. They would be pretty happy if they can get a trade kill in this lane, but it's also not going to be too easy, seeing that you're playing against Ringmaster, so he can get one of the souvenirs as well, get out of trouble.
Another stack time here for Planet. Do his best to try and get the double, and
does
succeeds
it this time.
There we go. So making those stacks, just getting anything he can here for Bach on this Sand King. And he'll look to back up because he is not CSing that well in lane. Only 12-0 to this point to Satanic's 24-14. When you're getting out denied, you know it's bad.
When that number is higher than your CS, you know something is wrong. And
that's
also Medusa. Morphling is farming, which is good, but you're also giving complete free farm to Medusa. And we've seen this hero being super tanky. Like right now, he's sitting at 700 mana, 300 HP, which makes it very difficult to kill him. Even if you bring Tiny, I think you need to bring 4 heroes, or you need to bring the old Keeper of the Light with Mana Leak to be able to kill Medusa. Because right now, I'm not seeing the heroes. And Bach, he's going to start the jungle immediately, which also does allow Temper Assassin to get some of the farm. Planet, he will try to get something done in the bottom lane, try to pull it a little bit, and we've seen this move as well, where position 5 does go and steal some of the XP, maybe steal some of the creeps from that Sanking. Pretty much, it's what you expect from Sanking to do at these early stages of the game, so it's very predictable.
Right. And before, I feel like teams were kind of just allowing Sand Kings to get away with it, and now there's a lot more pressure on this area of the map where Sand King has to be much more careful about taking these stacks. And Ducalis, he's going to be sticking around, and not only sticking around, but he's going to be stealing those stacks.
Sanking is the one who's watching.
All of a sudden, I mean, things feel even worse for Bach, where he's not really going to be able to make up as much net worth with those stacks being taken. He needs help, but there's not really much in terms of anybody coming over to help him out in this bottom lane. Planet's only got himself level 2, so a Blinding Light and a Chakra Magic isn't exactly
it's not the protection
tools
that you do need. He's only level 2 as well. Wanted to get some of that XP from making the stacks. Nothing to say. Does have the Power Rune available. Invisibility, not the best one at this stage of the game. Would definitely prefer to have something else. No one will TP back to base, come back with Remnant. But there's also no kill threats. Satanic and DM, they're pretty fine, knowing that if Tiny is showing in the mid lane, there's no way that they're gonna die. Phoenix has pretty limited amount of damage. He's slightly under-leveled as well, so is Keeper of the Light, so there's no damage that can be thrown onto them that they should be afraid of.
No one over mid back, like you said, with that Remnant, and things just kind of speeding up, I would say, in terms of problems for Tidebound, where Sand King's lane is going poorly. Satanic's got everything he wants, so does DM. At what point do PARIVISION just say, all right, we've got early enough items, we can kind of make a move? Is it Meteor Hammer for Medusa? Are you waiting for Dragonlance Deso for Templar, for Satanic to get off the ball?
This is where they're going to start to be more active. Their heroes are also not that good at rotating, other than Ember Spirit. He got his XP rune stolen. At least Active Rune has been stolen away from him, but no XP rune steal. And they're also going to go inside the enemy triangle. I really like this move from PARIVISION. They don't have to stack for themselves. No one else will take multiple points into Flame Guard. He wants to have that extra bit of a shield, knowing that most of the damage is magical. So they're doing quite a lot of damage in terms of this stacking department that Tidebound has been heavily invested into early on.
This is, looking at the net worth, just so rough. Bach feels like another support. Phoenix has nothing. 600 net worth is all consumable items almost. I mean, you can technically use those trees for your tangos. Eat the
branches.
Yeah.
Could end up with 0 items in the next couple of minutes. But yeah, this is the unkillable side lanes, and also very difficult to kill a mid lane. The damage is just non-existent for Tidebound, especially if they don't go for Tiny. What is it going to be in terms of neutral items? Mana drop? No one. Okay. Good amount of damage, but still not good enough to be able to surprise him and kill him there. Brawny making their life even more difficult, which I really like. I think Brawny, especially in certain situations, in these situations where you need to have extra bit of HP to survive, which could make a lot of difference. You get your magic wand, you get your flame guard up, and this also means that they're going to be very limited on the kill threat on the map. Man, Tidebound, they're really struggling.
Yeah.
It's also a bit of a slower game, which definitely benefits PARIVISION when it comes down to timings, because we talked about that 15-20 minute timing that PARIVISION is definitely going to come online with the heroes that they do have. I'm just thinking how Tidebound is going to be able to punch back.
I don't really see it. And you know, you talk about the timings of 15 minutes. This lineup from Tidebound isn't exactly fast, though. I wasn't expecting much movement from them with a Morphling that wants to get a couple of items and farm.
Sanking as well. It needs Tiny paired up with 2 supports, but also mid laner. Innocent. On the other side, when he's paired up with 2 supports, he does have so much kill threat. Very easy setup as well. 1 point in Searing Chains is enough. Into Ice Bat. Ringmaster as well. Tends to be relatively active as a hero. Level 6 already on him.
Avalanche thrown over onto no one. He doesn't really feel the effects of it in the entire time this has left Satanic to free farm. He's been doing whatever he wants. He's working on that first Mithril Hammer. When he gets that Deso, he should be able to do whatever he wants. Ducalis, by the way, he's going to be caught and killed. 3 heroes here to make sure they get something out of it. But 9 class, he's level 6. Has that Wheel of Wonder. Tiny not the easiest target to kill, considering he's already got almost 1,800 life early on. Has those 17 wand charges, now 18 wand charges too. And they'll look for the Illuminate, but that won't hit on no one, even though he gets hit with that Avalanche toss.
Ooh, this is going to be very difficult to go through all this tankiness on Ember Spirit. Shield Rune in bottle, Flame Guard, 3 points in it.
Shiro's here top. I mean, he's farming all right. But I don't know if all right's going to be good enough.
9 class has been on the stacking duty as well in the last couple of minutes.
Meteor Hammer finished, by the way, for DM.
They have very good heroes at clearing those stacks in the triangle. First of all, you have Templar Assassin, you have Medusa, even Ember Spirit can't take them. You can see no one playing so aggressive, knowing that with the shield rune, he definitely cannot die. Even with the flame guard on, he should be fine. Creep skipping, level 9 on him, getting closer to that mage slayer. That's going to be the big item, reducing their magic damage output.
If there somehow becomes a way where Tidebound can steal the stacks from PARIVISION, that would really help them out. If they could play across the river and look for this, but they're so confined to their own side of the map.
Yeah, also if I was tall, handsome, blonde, I would be able to be a model, but I'm stuck here with you at this job. And this is going to be another tower. You see, that's 9 class, 10 stacks from him, 10 stacks from Planet, so 12, 14 total. Stacking a lot, but they're also going to be losing quite a lot on the map, because mid tower is already gone. Bottom tower, you see that Satanic, he's taken over in the triangle, and going for that Deso. He actually has Deso. This is, I talk about 15-minute timing, whether he's gonna have it for Tormentor fight. Now you have level 12 TA with Orb of Destruction, with Desolator being delivered. This has to be the fastest Deso on TA. Maybe there's, I mean, because we don't rush Deso on TA anymore. I mean, probably we do have stats on it to see if this is one of the faster ones. Immediately to the mid lane, and one of the faster Meteor Hammers as well. This is a big timing for PARIVISION. They're going to start controlling the map, knowing that Tidebound, they don't have much to punch back.
Only 30 seconds faster than the previous record, but still the fastest Desolator. I mean, that is impressive Satanic, and we have seen so many performances like this. What was the PA performance? Was it Battle Fury BKB SNY at like 18 minutes from him or something at Playground?
I think it was maybe even 16. Like, this guy can really fast.
Satanic in some trouble though.
Or is he?
Path on 3, Macro Pyre's down. Satanic standing his ground, but he is gonna die to the epicenter. They get the kill on a Planet, they lose, nothing to say. Bach gonna try and TP out. They do not have Searing Chains, it's a 2-for-1. They do get a big kill on Satanic that pays quite handsomely. Still lost 2 for that though.
Epicenter used, immediately they are pinging out the bottom tower, so they want to take that one. A couple of Deso charges as well on TA. She got 4 out of that one, and this is going to be pretty standard stuff on Medusa. You do go for Road of Atos, Leipnir, so you have control, great against Sanking, great against Morphling. And that tempo that we talked about.
And the towers just fall. You have Deso, you have Liquid Fire, Meteor Hammer.
You don't even have to bring TA to this fight.
Not really. Ice Path gonna land here on Planet. They'll toss Ducalis closer to Planet, who won't leave off the slight. But the toss over, and no one's able to get into the Shrine. They get the kill into Ducalis, though, but with that, no one takes the Shrine. They get the kill into 9 class. That's 2 heroes dead on the side of PARIVISION.
Very nice.
An okay fight from Tidebound.
Dealing 2,000 damage. Immediately deleting 2 supports. Bach did help out with the Blink Dagger. That's his only item for now. Not too bad, considering what he was playing into, considering that a lot of his stacks have been taken. And now you have 2 Blink Daggers. You have the toss back as well. Only on the other side, Shiro, he does continue to farm up. Let's see if they're going to be playing slightly more aggressive, if they want to stop them from going in. But PARIVISION, knowing that there is no epicenter, at least for another 20 seconds, should give them the opportunity to go for this Tormentor. Temporal Assassin, she's relatively close by.
They just clean up creep wave so quickly as well. I mean, the pressure is always on the Tidebound. Don't want to get too close to that camp. They might hit you with the Tendrils of the Deep. 4 heroes are near the area for the side of Tidebound, but I don't think, there's no way to get into this. It's an easy shard for 9 class, and he'll have access to that spotlight. But Tidebound put the spotlight on him. The Tame the Beast will land. They go to the Wheel of Wonder, toss up into the air, and 9 class is dead, but no one wants to respond. I think to stay in some trouble. Burrow Strike, Epicenter. Avalanche is there too. You need a little extra control. The Illuminate comes through. Burrow Strike again. Can they get this kill into no one? They can. So it's 2 heroes dead on the side of PARIVISION. They go to the Stone Gaze from DM. The Ice Path lands on a Bach. He needs an escape route, but the Meteor Hammer lands and the Meld Strike is there. Satanic gets the kill on a Bach. They'll look for more. Gorgon's Grass locks down Shiro for a second, but the Avalanche, they get the kill on a Satanic, and all of a sudden, Tidebound, well, they're turning the tides. Ducalis He's going to stand forward and probably be a
Tiny's ready
deterrent for
again.
them to move forward.
Another
for DM,
toss back.
But instead, they go for
not a
9
toss
class. Avalanche under the tier 1
Still in
tower.
trouble.
Tame the beast for a short fear. Illuminate, Icarus dive, Supernova, escape act coming through from 9 class. But he is dead for the second time this fight as Tidebound.
What a fight
a
from them.
very good fight.
Coddle with Chakra Magic actually bringing the fight around. First using it on Tiny 2 times, then using it on Sanking to lower the cooldown on his stun, which does allow them to get the kill on Ember Spirit, and again using it on Tiny one more time. So there was, how many? 4 Chakra Magics total?
Let's take a look.
They were not ready. They were not fighting together on side of PARIVISION.
No,
Wheel of Wonder doesn't connect onto anything. 9 class is already dead, and no one is kind of separated. The rest of the team is not ready to come in. Even with Mage Slayer, it's still not enough. And there's that Burrow Strike.
And there was a Chakra Magic right before it. Blinding Light there and a Satanic. Just constantly with the Chakra Magics. And you get these kills and you clean up a little bit, and all of a sudden Tidebound kind of feel like they are strong enough to defend. I mean, this is something we've seen from PARIVISION before, right?
Yeah,
they go up.
They have the lead, then they throw a game a little bit, make it more interesting, and then they, again, pull it back. Meteor Hammer in the mid lane.
Finishing that.
Very long.
Ooh, Satanic.
Find one.
And Planet might be next. Ice Path connects, and Satanic walks forward. Paleman Arts connects there too, but unneeded as Satanic gets a double kill.
Does that slow them down by quite a lot? They still have Roshan available to go for, but seems like they want to have a bigger kill. DM keeps bombing this tower with Meteor.
Can't continue to let this happen. We'll soon have that Glip Glop. Meanwhile, Satanic has the Hurricane Pike.
Medusa destroys the haste rune. He's like, I don't benefit from it. With Undulation Facet, doesn't do anything. No one.
Oh,
Nice dodge.
they tried. He feinted it a couple times and ultimately ends up missing that epicenter. Easy moves there from no one. Duck, dive, dodge, and duck to get out of that way of the epicenter. Innocent's only level 8. Now no one has a chance to get a kill onto a Tidebound hero, but he'll Icarus dive away. Shiro, after that last little engagement, you know, he's getting into a Dragonlance. He's got that Manta style Vlad's. But even with that fight win, there's still control of the objectives here for PARIVISION, and they're going to go and get Roche.
No one is buying time. They do have Observer Ward in the lane, which is showing 2 of their heroes, so immediately PARIVISION decides to go into Roche Pit, and another record. And you can see why. Dewarding that Observer Ward that I just did mention, so breaking the record on pretty much 3 items, with Meteor Hammer, Deso, and Glippity Gloppity.
Wow. I like that. Shows how well PARIVISION are playing. I mean, it shows how well PARIVISION are playing, but also you kind of got to give a little bit of credit to Tidebound that they're holding on, even though these heroes are breaking some records like this.
They need to find Planet. In terms of jumps, they have Ember Spirit, they have Templar Assassin, but you also can't ignore Sanking Tiny, because they're going to go in, and this is also pre-BKBs. They're building tankiness, they're building status resistance on Ember Spirit, which I think is the correct choice, so that he doesn't die, so that he can get his spells off. Planet, he's in front. I think he got scouted by no one, and no one wants to jump in.
Avalanche, and they've got nothing to say, and some trouble to pop the BKB.
Egg.
DM, though, with the Stone Gaze. They get the kill and nothing to say, and all of a sudden, Shiro never has a chance to really survive. He's dead, too. You lose your carry in your mid, and Satanic knows he can just go for broke. Gets the kill onto Y, looks over for Baku, will Burrow Strike away. We've had some games where TAs have 2 charges on their Desolator 40 minutes into the game. 14.
This time around, they're not messing around. They want to go for the high ground. They still have Aegis, and look at Satanic. He's jumping in very aggressively. Crystallis, which has just been bought, delivers that one as well. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the Aegis, so they're going to force another glyph. This is the power of this lineup. You lose one fight close to your base, you're going to lose your building so quickly. With Jakiro, Meteor Hammer, TA with Deso. they need to be the one getting the jump. Even though it was a good egg did explode. Everybody else got heavily focused.
Shiro died so quickly, I don't think he was able to do anything. They just had that Gorgon's grasp volleyed right on top of him, and that was it. Then he died. The impact of a Morphling sometimes can be very everything or very nothing, depending on the if you've shifted well enough. But you miss that clutch, and you'll stall out pretty hard. 2.5 minutes on the Aegis still, though, for PARIVISION.
Level 19 on that Templar Assassin.
Yeah.
Some big items are coming out. Glimmer Cape finished on Ringmaster. Jakiro about to finish off his Solar Crest, so they are going full defensively. They feel that they have tempo, so they're investing into these smaller, cheaper items. Nothing to say.
There's the Avalanche, but they've got the Gleipnir. Meteor Hammer outlands. He's being patient with the BKB, but how patient can he be? There it is. There's the BKB. Can they turn around Epicenter? After a couple of slams, though, that's when he goes in with it. They've got DM low, but just not enough. The power from Tidebound just is not there.
I also really like that both supports did go for mana boots immediately. There was a game yesterday where Heroic did play with Medusa. They had like Chance Heal, which doesn't do anything to Medusa. They also didn't have mana boots on their support, so which makes it very difficult to play. And he also does have Shard, so Cold-Blooded. It's a 12-second cooldown ability, allows you whenever you get targeted by a spell to get the Mystic Snake. This is the target that they want to kill.
They're gonna go, but the Will-O-Wisp is there. Planet, though, still one shot from dead, finally falls to 9 class. That Will-O-Wisp won't matter. And Shiro sent packing back to the base. I mean, there are no answers for Tidebound.
They want to delay this as much as possible on Tidebound, try to cut the creep waves, not allow them to go for potentially one more push with this Aegis, which is about to expire in a minute and 10 seconds. Satanic, he found Y, who does have TP available.
Just casually leave the map. You could still do that. They could shrink the map or make it as big as possible. Phoenix is still allowed to just sunray off into the distance. I'm not sure why that's intended, but Y uses it. Box in trouble. Remnant over, Searing Chains, Ducalis waiting to stack this stun, but all of a sudden, you know, the rest of Tidebound are here. They're gonna get a kill into Ducalis. Bach, they'll actually get credit for that. 9 class is nearby, and they have at least deterred the side of PARIVISION for a moment.
PARIVISION wanted to go for one big push, you could definitely tell. It's just the lanes were not in good position, and because his Aegis is running out, Satanic going for a BKB, which I think is a correct choice, will allow him to sustain himself in the middle of a fight. Also, they don't have much damage that goes through debuff immunity, so that's going to be pretty massive. If he can get it off, even if he doesn't, there's still quite a lot of saves behind him with Escape Act, Glimmer Cape on top of it. Let's see if they can find something here. Bach.
Throw strike in to clear the creep wave, and the wave's not worth it when you're going to die right after. Satanic gets another 2 charges there on that Deso, and they get that kill right across the river, so they can push in if they want to, or just have DM use this Meteor Hammer and start chipping away this mid-tier 3.
I think Satanic is calling the shot, saying that he needs a BKB, needs another 100 gold, so they might be waiting for that one. Level 21 on TA.
The XP per minute is pretty insane. It's 960, and the next closest one is Shiro at 620. So the XP is definitely making a big difference, and his GPM is also insane too. And yeah, you can see the level difference between these two teams is pretty high. Phoenix, who started with no game, is kind of continuing to have
no game at all.
No game.
Doesn't have much. No shards available on them. They are the ones who are losing the Tormentors. Planet, he's the front line. I don't think he should be here.
No. They don't exactly have a save for him either. And he's worth a decent chunk of gold.
Yeah. Looking at his horse, it was not amazing. He went in as the guy, wanted to plant some vision. Maybe they wanted to try to go for the backstab, knowing that PARIVISION just killed Tormentors, so they would be low, but that extra bit of region that you get afterwards. And this is exactly how they're playing. Try to cut the creep waves until your Morphling comes online. They have a relatively good high ground defense. With Sanking, Tiny, Tossback, you have Will-O-the-Wisp, and you also have Illuminate. But I still feel that PARIVISION should be able to push these lanes and try to go for the high ground, especially with the second Aegis.
See if Shiro can get the farm to kind of defend here. You're going to need a little bit more on your other two cores because they are suffering as well. Will PARIVISION continue to take over? They've got this outpost. And they continue to play across the river wherever they can. I mean, they could just wait for this next Aegis, which is potentially, or next Roche is potentially up in 23 seconds. Satanic just continues to farm. He's got this BKB, Swift Blink. MKB is being written down for what he wants next. Nemesis Curse there too on him. He's also probably gonna, truthfully, farm these couple of camps and might just go for the next shrine too.
Woo, solo killed. No one going in, and he's very close. 1,000 gold away from finishing off his Shiva's Guard, which is going to be very good against Sunray, very good against Morphling with his shift. And you mentioned that MKB, they really want to have something. MKB, Morphling will go in this matchup for Butterfly, and then you have a bit of a mixed damage, physical, magical, and you also have something to pierce through that evasion.
That was a pretty quick Roche. This is going to be a second Aegis here for the side of PARIVISION. Satanic, most likely the one who's going to pick this up. They'll also have that banner. And now, well, no one just had a solo kill on Bach. Well, he wants seconds. Gale Guard. Innocence. He'll survive, kind of almost on the choice of no one. He decided, I don't want to risk it. Probably the wise choice with Shiro nearby.
TA has so many items. Like he had Daedalus recipe in the backpack, a BKB in the backpack, Nemesis Curse as well. So his damage is going to be insane. 9 class, he jumps in, getting recalled. That's going to be cancelled.
Uh-oh. Can he avoid 9 class? At least for the moment he has, and the recall will be started again, and they'll pull him over mid. Side of Fist Searing Chains, Avalanche off the mark from nothing to say. Finally picks up that Sanjinyasha. PARIVISION, they're looking for their moment to kind of just dive forward, and with this Aegis, I would say finish the game. I mean, they are no
careful now. DM,
stranger to it.
He has Hex being delivered to him, so that's going to be a massive way of initiating. Templar Assassin jumps in. She can definitely kill any hero from 100 to 0 during Hex plus maybe 1 Ice Path. In terms of control, they don't really have that much. There are no really stuns on their side.
Gorgon's Grasp, Ice Path, Searing Chains, yeah, not really anything too crazy. Avalanche thrown out, but they remnant forward. They're looking for nothing to say. He'll blink away, but he's gonna need some help here, and he's on the run. He's got BKB if he needs it. No one not going to spot him. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they are putting some damage on the tier 3 tower. And again, I mean, this is a tower that is quite low. You lose one fight with the pushing potential from PARIVISION.
You might just
you're going to lose a lot. Yeah. You're going to lose a lot. DM's had a perfect game. Satanic more than perfect. At least up to this point. He's closing in on level 24, and eventually Tidebound, they got to answer the call. They got to hear the bell ring and go for something.
Trying to get something done in the mid lane, going for the tankiest target. There's also 2 traps available, so he can fall back to that. It's also a bit of a control. He does have a shard available, which is a good amount of silence, but it seems like they don't want to go in Medusa. They don't see the rest of the heroes. They're pinging out no one who's in the bottom lane, Invis. With the gem, so he sees this sentry, but they're getting the jump.
Toss into the air, but they've got the escape back. Will-O-Wisp is here. Can they get the control? They can stay on to no one. Get the kill in a 9 class. A Remnant off to the left, and he is away.
They're going for the high ground.
Side of Team
Look what's happening in the top lane. Recall sinking. He was the one missing to maybe have extra bit of a control. Now they're going for the high ground. Banner has been planted. Seems like they're not going to get much out of that banner.
Put some damage onto the racks. They took the tier 3 tower. They recall in. But this is just, you know, no one doing what he's been doing a lot in this game is taking attention away.
He's trying to punish whoever is pushing that one lane that they're not going through, because so far PARIVISION, they always push in 2 lanes, but there's always one problem that kind of also goes into the second lane where Tiny goes in, tries the creep skip. BKB now completed on Morphling. That's a big item. Shiro is pretty big still. Like Templar Assassin, if we compare 2 of those, he's still missing a full item, but still this is Morphling we're talking about. He has Serrated Shiv, level 20, so has that 20 agility, which is a big damage increase on Morphling.
They just have to find the right fights. It's been something that Tidebound have been lacking, is them being the initiators on fights and finding exactly the exchanges that they want. And honestly, a lot of their fights and exchanges have been time wasted on trying to get a kill into the Ember.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They are starting to push out and farm a little bit. A lot of Gale Guards here. Almost all 5 heroes on the side of Tidebound with Gale Guards.
Nothing wrong there.
Very strong book. Is it a book? Is it a shield?
Is under attack.
Can't quite
Looks like
tell.
a book to me.
Nothing to say. BKB TP out.
Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I didn't read enough books to know what book looks like. Sanking, jumping in.
DM get some help with the ice path. Gleipnir used on a Bach. Will-O-Wisp is there, but they're using this to retreat instead. They know the rest of the team is starting to come their direction. And again, it's another fight in which Tidebound don't exactly have all the stipulations of them wanting to commit checked off, and they just don't go for it.
Usually Morphling is the one who's very low attack range hero, but with changes to talents, he has 75 attack range. He did build into Dragonlance, so has extra 150, and also did choose Fast as his enchantment, so has extra 110. So basically becomes a budget sniper.
Huh. Can he hold the high ground as well as a sniper can? Smoke breaks, DM nearby. Gleipnir on to Innocence. Gorgon's Grasp as well as the Meteor Hammer. And a Spotlight down. But for now, Y is okay. Planet might not be so fortunate. He'll try to TP out. But eventually, they've got the control and the damage to get the kill. Satanic puts himself on a mega kill streak. Nothing to say, needs to leave. Stonegaze even committed here.
Cool down.
Got the Gleipnir to get the extra control. The Hex from DM and the damage from Satanic. They've got 2. And 2 heroes that do not have buyback.
That's at least one side. 60 seconds without Tiny. I don't know how they take this fight. This is actually 2 sides and might even go try to check if he has buyback available. Let's see how PARIVISION is going to approach it. There are no creeps in the base right now. They're pinging out the mid lane. Can somebody do something to the creep wave? But doesn't seem like they can. Creeps are approaching.
Got to that level 25 already for Satanic. He took the 4 instances of refraction. And there's another Meteor Hammer and the Deso right-click damage coming through for Satanic to get that melee racks. They've got the glyph back available, but after that's done, they will lose a tier 3 there too. I mean, there is no stopping this from PARIVISION.
Tidebound did a good job protecting the creep waves, getting those glyphs up, and also getting the backdoor protection in. So they didn't lose the second set of barracks. Next Roshan may respawn in 40 seconds, and it's going to be just like that. 35 to 40 seconds. Way too many items. Like, we really haven't seen Shiro deal damage. Or if we could check the damage, because this is Morphling we're talking about. There was a lot of tempo. 3.8k damage, the lowest damage.
Almost
only one who has lowest is Keeper of the Light.
Those are the signs of a bad game, if I had to guess.
Yeah, now he's ready. Problem is the game is probably about to end if they lose the fight.
Sounds like a familiar situation.
Another Meteor Hammer. Shiro's Morphling is 50-50.
Is he ready to fight? Are they ready to make a comeback here, down 23,000 net worth? Can they make a comeback here, down 23,000 net worth? And Bailman Arts just enough of a deterrent on to Shiro where he doesn't feel comfortable to go in again. And this fight, I mean, you can't give up Roche for free. I'll say that.
It's going to be a bit of a longer spawn. That needs another minute, 10, 20 seconds.
Yeah, and there's an amplified damage top. If they get their hands on that on PARIVISION, they may not even stop. Why go for Roche? You could probably clean it up with just that amplified damage. There's another Tormentor to take, though. Why not? 5-shot it.
Not a bad shard by any means.
There's that amplified damage, bottled up for no one. And just every time a little bit too late from Tidebound. Just always a touch too late. Still about a minute to go, I would say, on that timer.
Yeah, about a minute.
I was going to say if it was actually 62-38 now, but yeah, 93 to 7, 94 to 6. The percentages are well aligned with what we feel like is happening in this game. It's not that surprise 80-20 at this point.
Bach is going to show here. Trap silence.
This
immediately dead. He doesn't have any ways of like really protecting himself. Didn't want to use a BKB there. Had a Ghost Scepter, but it was too late. And he doesn't have buyback available. He needs another
minute.
300 gold.
Yeah. Whew. I mean, that's not the first time we've seen Bach do that. Burrow strike into a lane and immediately die. They have moved around the map on PARIVISION so well to kind of be in these positions to just punish any farm that they've gone for on the side of Tidebound. Satanic's in on Roche. They hear it. It's third Roche. They know it. But I don't know. I mean, without Bach, certainly they can't.
They're not taking that fight.
But now again, you lose Bach, and you've given up the third Roche, another Roche for free, and it just feels like Tidebound are waiting out the inevitable.
No one. Use the scan, immediately jumps in with Shiva's Guard to provide vision for himself. Why? He's just gonna die. Another solo kill for no one. And he's not done.
He's searching, but he doesn't exactly know where Nothing to Say is. Scanned, but no eyes, and he'll TP back to base. Hitting this 40th minute here, 30,000 net worth lead for PARIVISION. They've got an Aegis to work with. All they need is this bottom set of racks to secure the Megas. But Bach positions himself looking for something.
He's in a good spot. Level 3 Epicenter with Aghanim Scepter can deal a lot of damage, but everything needs to be perfect. Problem is, these heroes are so tanky. No one has Refresher. He does have Cheese, and it seems like he knows exactly where Bach is.
Knew for a moment with the trap down. Meteor Hammer takes the tower. It's death by 1,000 hammers. Usually it's cuts, but this is blunt force trauma that PARIVISION are using. But the game is not over until the throne falls. They're gonna go Remnant forward looking for Nothing to Say. They've got the Searing Chains. The Hex comes from DM onto the Tiny. They've got a Will-O-Wisp down for some protection. But DM looking for the Meteor Hammer, Avalanche, Burrow Strike, Ice Path. Now the Macropire upgraded with the Zags. They get the kill in a Bach. They'll look towards the rest. Planet Y, they're both dead. Shiro trying to run away, but GG is called. And this should be a full team wipe before the throne explodes and PARIVISION do take game number 1.
not the most exciting game in terms of like how they closed it out.
Thank you, Nomad. Coming into game number 2. Got PARIVISION Tidebound. PARIVISION with that 1-0 lead. And it looked like there might be first blood. There might be an exchange, but it stays pretty quiet for the moment.
Yep. 9 class on his Batrider. One last ride. Is this Sebastian Debs on the Batrider we're seeing, or is this 9 class? I like when players also say that they don't want to touch the hero. They're going to shelf it for until something good happens to the hero, and think some mega buffs happen. But he's going to play it. In theory, it should be a good game because they don't have many saves. Batrider goes in. They have more than enough damage. It's going to be their BKB piercing tool as well. And also one of the better heroes in the game to get the stacks going. One of the better heroes to cut the creep waves as well. There's going to be, I would say, in the previous game, expected it to be much faster considering the lineup coming out from PARIVISION, but this time around, Tidebound, they have one of the best high ground defenses. You have Coddle, you have Bristleback who's going to be in front, ET as well, and Underlord. Maybe you can throw in some casual Treant Protector in the mix, but it doesn't get better than this.
What about Batrider is so enticing to play? I mean, this is a hero we, like Nomad said, we don't see this hero a lot, and obviously it's comfort hero for 9 class. But were there major changes on this hero that just make him unplayable, not in the right hands, or is it something in particular?
Not really. I mean, radius on Firefly has been increased, but that's about it when it comes down to recent changes.
We'll see if it's still good to go for 9 class. We'll see whether he is the student or the teacher for that class on this Batrider. Taking a look over mid for the moment, and nothing to say. He was doing okay in the last game, but game number 1, man, for PARIVISION, the lanes just were brutal for Tidebound, and there is a lot that went wrong early on. They talked about how the high ground defense and honestly the team fight here from Tidebound could be good if they're not behind like they were in game 1, down 15, 28,000.
There's one change to Batrider that is going to be maybe applied in this game if we're going to be seeing Aghanim Scepter on Terrorblade. Some of the force movement that were applied by Batrider allies, they don't work anymore. They haven't canceled the lasso, which is really nice, and that's going to be Terrorblade's Terror Wave. Other than that, they also have Ringmaster, so that's the other one that could come in pretty handy. So it doesn't cancel the lasso anymore. Wheel of Wonder, that is.
It's good. Kind of no longer able to be griefed by your own teammates a little bit.
Feels nice.
Not able to be croakered. Kalis, Bach, back and forth. Pinamalis is down. There's some damage on Bach. He'll eat that Fairy Fire and be fine for the moment. Early Metamorphosis used, of course, and you can get some CS out of that. Went one in the Reflection, one in the Metamorphosis for the time being. This lane could do a lot of damage here for both sides. They use that Reflection, they look for Tame the Beast, and Bach's gonna drop for first blood to Satanic.
This is not a BM pause by any means. No one seems like he wants to be able to get to reconnect. Some lag issues. Hopefully that's going to be fixed soon. But yeah, that is definitely a strong lane. Underlord overall last pick for Tidebound. In theory, it should be good. You are playing against Sanking. You're playing against Storm Spirit. So Root is going to be very good. You're building into Aura items against Sanking Storm Spirit, against the Terrorblade as well, and his illusions. It should be fine. Problem with this hero is always the laning stage. It's pretty similar to Sanking, whether how much you're going to be able to get out of the lane. And we can see both of them are still kind of struggling, sitting at 9 CS only.
Looking at Sand King and the Flame Break hitting the Gyrocopter for the moment.
Houston, we have a liftoff. He is in the air.
A bit higher than he's used to. Which way is he flying? Is he flying back towards tower? Looks like it, right? Or to the right? Yeah, to the unpause. There it is. All right. Didn't much matter. Oh, DM will have a lane. Let's see. It's going well for him so far. He's 14-1. This might be one of the better Sand King lanes we've seen.
Yeah, doing pretty hot. Level 3, and we talked about Batrider stacking. That's exactly what he's doing. Making some stack for him, which he's going to be getting the XP from, and also farming, because This is supposed to be a very strong lane for them, but I think this Batrider pick also, the bounce back that you're getting from Flame Break actually gets you a lot of value against ET, so he gets pushed away. Gyrocopter, his Rocket Barrage is not going to connect on Sanking. So not a traditional saving hero by any means, but it does allow you to get like this budget save into the mix, and DM is pulling the lane again close to the tower, and this is why Astini talked that DM Sanking, it doesn't lose, because this guy plays it slightly differently. They're still stacking on the other side of the map. They're stacking triangle compared to the outer ring, what every single Sanking on Dire has been doing, and he's gonna go into the triangle again, get one more stack, while DM, let's see what he decides to do.
Getting this double stack, let's see. And he got it. Never in doubt. Nothing to say, though. Doubting about how well the lane is going for him now, as no one gets a kill. And this is, again, another performance which early on seems like PARIVISION are taking the better of. It's not like game number 1 where they had this crazy push with Jakiro and Medusa and the Deso early for TA.
Side, for sure. Sanking, your offlaner, your mid laner, they don't deal that much tower damage. It needs to be Terrorblade. But something to point out is that no one did opt to go for early Ring of Protection. He basically brought it 3 minutes into the game, knowing that he is playing against Bristleback, which is all about that physical damage. So eventually, that Ring of Protection is going to be turned into Soul Ring. So very nice thinking. Bach cornering himself here.
He's fine. The one thing is, I will say, DM just got a kill on Innocence.
DM's doing a
and
lot of work.
that was, I believe, a solo kill. And he's still farming. He's pulling these creep
double
waves.
wave, but he's also farming neutrals right now. This is going to be his level 5.5 pretty much once he farms it. ET can't really stop him.
I think
he might be getting even closer to level 6. He's soaking up some of the experience from the neutrals, but
I mean, this is one of the better DM, or one of the better Sand King games,
highest
period.
CS in the game. This has to be the first game that we are seeing this. 5.5 minutes in.
Yeah. People are going to want to start, keep an eye on this replay for the Sand King players out there, because, I mean, every game we've gotten into it, Sand King lose lane, he'll get blink and come back. But this is Sand King, he doesn't really win the lane because he's staying out of the lane, but he's in a fantastic position right now.
His win rate at the tournament isn't the greatest. It's sub 50%, sitting at 46 right now, but he has been picked quite a lot of times. 30 times so far picked, which makes him one of the overall more picked offlaners, and he's doing really, really well. In the triangle, level 6. Now you can definitely start the pressure. I think Shiro's in trouble. If they get a stun with Epicenter, he's gonna die.
Flame break into the Burrow Strike. Going to the Epicenter, but just didn't have the hold on, and that's a little bit rough there from PARIVISION.
He bounced him into the stun. Maybe DM thought that he can't get the stun off immediately, even though he does have move speed items. With Phase Boots and Windlace, should be able to close the gap. So I think they needed to stun him into Flame Break to keep them inside of the Epicenter for that extra damage. Because he ran away. And this is Gyrocopter that didn't really have much move speed. Just a casual brown boots for now. We've seen this in game 1, where PARIVISION is playing very aggressive. Dagger's gonna hit.
Box in trouble. And one more shot as no one gets the kill. Now looking over and nothing to say. He is level 6. Team the Beast not going to connect.
5 seconds. They're going to steal it. Shiro's also coming on the other side. They want to battle them out. DM, they need to fall back. They can't really take this fight.
I was going to say, he might have been able to steal it with the flame break right there, but Shiro stayed in the circle, and then he's able to get the kill and get the shrine. That was almost cheeky. Satanic all the while. Like, we've talked a lot about DM. Satanic's the one having a really good game. And truthfully, Shiro, this time around, his game is on par. Last game, he was going up against Satanic, whose farm was out of control. This time, he's keeping up at a neck-and-neck level.
Yeah, you would expect him to win the lane against Sanking, that's for sure, but also Sanking got a lot from that lane. Problem with Tidebound's lineup is, again, they don't have a playmaker. I'm just thinking how they're going to start the fights in some of these post 10-15 minutes. Their lineup is very good at reacting. They can bring the numbers. There's a combination that we haven't really talked about with Twin Gate and also Recall, so you can bring heroes pretty much from anywhere. I would maybe love to see some Road of Atos. You're playing against Sanking. You're playing against Storm Spirit on the supports. Maybe even, like, I know it's not the most popular item on Underlord. Like, you might get it. A lot of the times you opt to go for auras, for your Crimson, for your Pipe, Guardian Greaves, but maybe in this game, it would be a lot of value if you could pick it up early on. Just that you have that extra bit of lockdown. You have a way for setting up for your own spells. Both Coddle and ET, they don't really have much. Your mid laner is Bristleback. Can't really start a fight. That's going to be a massive issue. And you're also playing into Storm Spirit, who's very elusive, so need to be careful how they approach it.
See what they want to do as we are currently in this pause. Shiro's actually making a rotation here. There's a shield rune to be picked up. Nothing to say, he's been harassed up pretty heavily. Down about 500 gold to the Storm Spirit. DM continuing to farm, and he's going to have one of the faster blink daggers we've seen.
This is going to be
from a Sand King.
If he gets another stack in the outer ring, he farms the lane. Could be pre-10-minute blink dagger.
We've been looking at what as our normal blink dagger timings, like
12
13.
12 to like 14, sometimes even 15 minutes, depending on the game.
It hasn't been the greatest for Sand Kings, and it's just, and I know I'm kind of fawning over this performance early on, but
because we don't see it often.
We just don't see it that often. You could see just the extra influx of gold here. PARIVISION's got a 2,000 net worth lead. They can get an early blink dagger, maybe makes it better for that epicenter that they want to lock onto. And also, when he's taking those stacks within the triangle, 9 class is getting some solo experience, and he is trying to get to that level 6 to have that extra bit of lockdown with the lasso. Call down connecting onto 9 class, not quite. He does walk out of the edge of it, and that means he's going to be able to kind of get away here. He does have flame break if Innocence does try to make anything happen, and he can't. Unfortunate there is the call down just not really connecting at all. 9 class back to the polywog camp. Was looking for Innocence for a moment.
He can do this throughout the whole game. They have really no catch. Gotta pick up a bouncer rune for himself. If DM is playing in the jungle, he can definitely try to kill one of these camps like that. But again, slower lineup from Tidebound. No real way of initiating a fight. Nothing to say. He's gonna go back. It's a very difficult way to play Dota. Playing with no stuns. You can't go for aggressive play. And PARIVISION, they're gonna be the one choosing where they want to take the fights. If they don't feel like they don't have to take the fight, they can easily walk away. And now Blink Dagger is ready with Epicenter. Nothing to say. No Blade Mail yet available.
Wants that Epicenter. And they're going to have the extra lockdown. They have the Vortex. You run back, you're into a Wheel of Wonder. And it's an easy kill for PARIVISION, putting it together. And this is something I kind of wanted to talk about before that fight happened.
I'm looking at the mid lane as well. They are digging water runes. 2 trusty shovels, actually 3 trusty shovels. Allowing them to get water runes for Storm. Playing around him that way.
Oh,
this
Shiro.
is a massive kill.
I mean, they're just in so deep, so early. And Bach's going to try and at least retaliate to this. And they might even get a kill on a no-one. He doesn't have a lot of mana to work with anymore. Shiro, though, can't keep up because he does have that haste rune.
Hopefully
you're just able to run away.
Tidebound, they were ready. Echo Stomp, they're also bringing in the heroes, but yeah, they're the ones controlling the runes. Also that extra bit of a mana, HP that they did give with digging water runes, really making the difference.
You talk about how Tidebound don't really have initiators, but PARIVISION have multiple. They've 3, honestly.
9 class is farming up in the outer ring, so that's going to be his Blink Dagger. He's basically rushing it.
Right.
Which I kind of like. It does allow you to play aggressive, have multiple ways of initiation compared to Tidebound, who can just sit and farm. They're playing for a bit of a later timing in the game, knowing that their high ground defense is really strong.
Right.
But you're also eventually will need to take the fight.
So even if Tidebound somehow initiate.
Somehow, what is somehow? They're gonna get clipped by some ET stun?
Yeah, maybe Rod of Atos sleep, let's say.
Yeah, back is going for Road of Atos, so that's gonna be their way of controlling the fight, which is really, I think it's a must-have item. I would also maybe even love to see somebody else try to pick it up.
Uh-oh. 9 class started the TP, realized he was not going to have enough time. But what I'm getting at is, like, even if you do get that initiation, you do have Ring Master who just has Escape Act. And truthfully, you have Flame Break to push a hero off if they make a jump, if somebody's somehow finding their way in like that. They check a lot of boxes here for PARIVISION, whereas Tidebound, it's almost like they have to react just to be in a fight with Underlord's ult or something.
I mean, look at the way no one is playing. Behind enemy tower, can't really get punished. They have no ways of locking him down. He's farming the enemy triangle. DM as a Sanking, he also continues to farm up. This is a very good scaling offlaner. His Aghanim Scepter, this is a bit of a new tech that is coming out after we nerfed the other items that he wants to go for. With Bloodstone, Shiva's Guard is a bit more on the expensive side.
Right.
So he needs something. Sometimes we do see like a Yule Scepter, if you need the spell mechanic, if they're having some early silences. No one is playing so aggressive that he is just going to stay in the triangle and continue to farm up there.
Why leave? Who's going to really force you to leave? I mean, at this point, Satanic's kind of doing the same, right? He's farming across the river. He's farming on the dire side of the map.
No one again. Can dig a water rune for himself. Does have 2 bottle charges. Will always stay pretty much full mana, full HP. With Soul Ring on top of that. That's another Blink Dagger ready.
Smoke used by Tidebound. They're going to look for something.
This also has to be one of the... I'm just going to throw it out there. Fastest Manta style of the tournament. Because you don't build it as your first item. There's an item in between. On Morphling, it is Vlad's. On TV, it is Falcons Blade. And there it is, 36 seconds faster.
They'll go for Satanic, but DM's in. Bro Strike, they recall Gyro into this epicenter. That is a huge problem. Planet and Shiro are both dead. Innocence falls. Nothing to say is gone. 4 Euros dead on the side of Tidebound.
Oof, what a disastrous fight for them. Again, it comes down to them not having anything to start the fight with, and they're not done.
Oh, they've got the lasso. Pit of Malice, but
full team wipe.
that is a
14
full
minutes
wipe.
into the game.
Pre-Torm.
XP rune stolen.
Yeah,
Tier
Shrine
2
taken.
about to be gone as well. Map is not gonna be there. They wanted to bring the numbers. We said that this is the combo that they have, but I was not talking about the Grief combo. What an unfortunate timing. Into Wheel of Wonder. Shiro, I don't think he dealt any instance of the damage in the previous fight.
Don't ever bring me ever again.
Yeah, you might need
Turn off.
you might
ally health.
turn it off, exactly.
That's pretty brutal.
I'm looking at fight recap.
Oh, yeah.
600 damage dealt by Underlord. Other 4 heroes didn't deal nothing. 0, nada.
Yikes.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That is a lot of experience difference coming through. And a lot of experience.
I'm gonna tell you what, if I'm
PARIVISION.
in this game, I might be typing in the old chat, I'm mentally already checked out, go next game, because you can't play Dota, they're just farming. This is gonna be the name of the game for Tidebound until PARIVISION decides to go in again with their Blink Daggers, with ultis ready. There is Epicenter, there is Lasso coming off cooldown. They can also be the ones controlling Roshan, controlling Tormentor.
I mean, that's how you trick them, right? You say, finish fast, guys.
Yeah,
Please,
and then
push
that
through mid.
defense, high ground defense.
And then you
It
defend.
always comes.
Yeah.
There's one guy that says on the enemy team, guys, we can still do it. 9 Classo, again.
Get the control on the planet. And just like Pluto, they
Attack.
make him no longer a planet.
He is a dwarf planet.
For some.
No, that's the official state of Pluto right now. Because he was a planet, he was one of the big guys, one of 9. And then he wasn't. And then we were like, we feel bad for Pluto.
They go with Planet again, and well, without Planet, they're gonna lose. Why? Nothing to say. 3 heroes gone again. It is 13-2 with a 12,000 net worth lead. We're closing in on your favorite thing. 1,000 net worth lead per minute. We're about 4,000 off of it, but with the way that PARIVISION are moving, it looks like it may happen on planet?
Is under attack.
Okay. That was a little concerning.
It was, but he manages to survive.
They say dive head first, but I mean, that was almost reckless.
Not in concrete. That was...
Yeah, that was in the shallow end. Oh my god.
12,000, 17 minutes into the game. We're actually getting close to the territory where they're going to reach 1K gold per minute, potentially in the next few minutes, and this is where officially the game ends, at least in my book.
Yeah, I mean, right now they've got 1K per kill, which is pretty expansive if you have over like 10 kills. More stacks aplenty for no one. Just getting all those juicy stacks, all that juicy gold. Whereas Tidebound, yeah, they're farming, but they're not on the same pace as PARIVISION at the moment.
PARIVISION, they have no objectives to go for. They're like, there are no towers, we need to farm up, get a pick off. Still Tormentor and Roshan available, but they want to get the kills. They know that right now they can't be taking the fights. There's a Road of Atos finished on Buck. Pit of Malice is also maxed out, so they have combination.
There it is. Finally, the combination. Is it going to be enough? Splitter, a lot of damage. No one's dead. All right, Fox got a kill. And just like that, put it on the board. Because Tidebound, they've got another one.
It's been what, like 15 minutes since they got a kill?
It's been a while.
Hang around Vision. Why I wanted to go for a D ward, but makes it very difficult. Let's see how Storm Spirit is going to approach this problem. Immediately queues up a BKB, making sure that he can't get out of trouble.
Trying to look at when they had gotten a kill on Batrider at 12 minutes, so it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
High ground in 19 minutes.
This is what I wanted to do in the first game as well.
Yeah.
They wanted to push the high ground, but had that one big team fight that they lost. Suddenly, they ended up farming it for another 25 minutes. A lot of stacks, 13 stacks by Batrider. I guess that's why he also loves to play the hero. And he wants to scale. Did go for power treads, wants to pick up Shard, Witchblade. Thinking that this game might go long, so wants to have extra bit of scaling. Yeah, you gave me a look after I said that the game could go long. If they're gonna turtle,
They're gonna
have some of the best game for some of the best heroes to do so.
Yeah, maybe. They were all
Not convinced.
no, I'm still not convinced. I'm not.
trying to stay positive here. Find something that this lineup is good at.
I'll believe it when I see it. But I believe a little bit. You know, these are professional teams. They are pushing. They now took the Torm. We could see what's next, right? Is it going to be the tower? Are they just going to go and push their way through? And they could just go get Roche. It's going to the bottom cove. And they will. All right. Take one objective, go to the next. Get an Aegis, push the high ground.
DM, he's scouting them out. Let's see, maybe they can get a kill here. Another
Scout.
Malice is going to connect.
Oh, gosh. Earth Splitter took a big chunk of damage.
That's a good amount of XP and gold.
Oh, yeah. Now that scouting mission, it was, I mean, it works. You get Aegis. There's nothing to complain about. You give up a bit of gold. You know you're up by a lot. You give up one life. When you're back up, you've got an Aegis to push with. There is also another Shrine and another hero foolishly coming to try and grab this experience. So they get the kill and nothing to say, and Bach comes in with that ult. But they've got the escape back. Nowhere for 9 class to go at the moment. Flame Break's pushing both Bach
One is
and
in.
Y away. They get the kill in the underworld. They'll bring in Shiro. That's a bit of an issue, though, because they don't have a lot to play with, and now no one doesn't have a lot of mana.
But he has a lot of mana regeneration.
Yes.
He has 14 Galvanized, Searing Signet, Mystical, extra bit of mana regeneration coming up from that one. So we'll go back to almost full mana in 30 seconds. DM still in the mid lane, wants to get a defensive item of his own. BKB seems like that's going to be the item of a choice for pretty much every core on their side. Satanic wants to get it slightly later, wants to have something else to deal with Gyrocopter. Terrorblade is very, very good against killing these tanky cores, especially when you go for Condemned Facet on TB. It does allow you to get that no minimum health threshold when you're using Sunder. So you get close. We've seen it so many times throughout the tournament. Some of these tankier cores like Crystalback, he gets close, he gets sundered, suddenly he dies in 2 hits.
Speaking of Bristleback, there was a hairball. Storm doesn't really quite care. Satanic going to continue to push out top lane. He got that tier 2, and he looks at the tier 3 for a second, backs away as the creeps hit the high ground. A lot of time left on this Aegis, and at least for the moment, it looks like PARIVISION are going to collect their next items. They want the BKB on 2 of their 3 cores. Satanic, he's got one queued up, but he's also got Scotty queued as well.
2 BKBs should be enough.
Yeah.
Map is very small. Gold lead, it keeps increasing.
Nothing to say near no one. Nothing to say. Blade Mail, Glimmer Cape. That is not the most core-looking inventory I've seen.
It's what Bristle does.
Yeah.
Like, he starts to scale once he gets to his SNY, has started
Shiro.
more about soaking up the damage.
It's got
Gonna bait a BKB.
Can they get a hit on the Shiro? And Malice is down. Nightclass with the blink. They've got the lasso. There's the Wheel of Wonder. They get the kill to Shiro. They're going to look over at Bach. Nothing to say. He's trying to run. They've got the Will-O-Wisp there, but with the BKBs pop, they'll have the extra control and the wherewithal to go and get Y. Burrow Strike lands on it. Nothing to say. 4 heroes dead again on the side of Tidebound.
They're gonna be ready to go for the high ground. It is very difficult. They're the ones getting the jump. You see what no one can do. Like, even him, he's holding the Aegis, so he doesn't care too much. He goes in, try to bait something. Maybe Shiro's gonna pop his BKB, then 9 class. He finds the opportunity, gets the lasso immediately, and this is your side of barracks pretty much gone. Potentially you have one more fight left on Tidebound. With next meta, they're gonna be able to reset, get that extra bit of a fight. It seems like they're not done yet.
They got one more
PARIVISION,
fight left.
they want to speed it up. You have great
pushing mid.
defense, but your heroes, they need to be alive.
Yeah. Towers ain't gonna do it all, that's for sure.
Way too many items on PARIVISION. 25k gold lead, 25 minutes in. This is it. This is the number. And now even a 3rd BKB coming out on 9 class.
He is very farmed.
We also have a funny number, 24 score. Let's see. Do or die for Tidebound. Bristleback.
It is too late. Impalement Arts. And they're going to go. They'll find themselves Planet that's falling on the back lines. Y is dead. Planet's gone, but they didn't get to cause. Bach, though, falls in the grave afterwards. They have the lasso. It's on. Nothing to say. We'll pop that Glimmer Cape. Shiro trying to work with the BKB, but the timing
Aegis
just
10
does
seconds.
not last long enough. And eventually, the Burrow Strike, the epicenter, it's all there. And they're going to look for Nothing to Say, too. Epicenter did some work. Aegis expires, so the ball lightning. They'll call GG instead, and PARIVISION will lock up the 2-0 over Tidebound.
What a clean game. What a clean series from PARIVISION. They kind of have...